Is that Janeiro? What's up, bro? You have social anxiety? Damn, bro. Oh. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I don't really believe in a lot of these anxieties and diagnosing shit, because you can diagnose yourself for basically anything, bro. I'm not saying you diagnose yourself, but when a doctor says shit, it's like I don't fucking believe it. More often than not. It's like everyone was supposed to die from COVID. That didn't really happen either. But different story. I think it's very hard to have anxiety if you are a confident, competent person and you've built yourself up. Because here's the thing, like, even for myself, oh, fucking hell. So it was a meme, it was a meme. Alright. See, speaking of which. Oh, no, it wasn't a meme. Alright, I'll just die right now. Here's the thing. When it comes to all these different diagnoses and shit, a lot of these things are complete bullshit in my opinion. My opinion, whether you believe it or not, I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying in my opinion. Because, like, for myself, I could easily say I have ADHD, social anxiety, high functioning anxiety, some other kind of bullshit as well. I don't know. I guess I have all kinds of stuff. I can go and get it myself diagnosed. And let's say, for example, if the doctor says I don't believe that's not true, I can just go to another doctor, and eventually somebody will be like, yeah, you have all these things that are wrong with you, and that's the reason why you are the way that you are. And there's nothing you can do. It's like, well, I don't know. The CDC said for three years straight, just inject yourself with these medicines or these what's it called? These vaccines, and never said, hey, drink more water, get healthy, go outside, any of this shit. It's like, yeah, you need to be medically induced in order to survive. So I don't really fuck with any of that shit, bro. Here's the thing, bro. With something like that, I think the question for you, is, do you believe that you have social anxiety? If you don't believe it, but the doctor said that to you, are you really going to say, well, the doctor said that this is the case, so forever, however I live the rest of my life, there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to always be scared of being in crowds and scared of being around people, and doesn't matter how hard I work on it, there's nothing I can do. It's like, I don't think you actually want to live in that way. I'm actually trolling. So if you don't actually want to live in that way, then I wouldn't believe it, bro. It's like saying you have depression. It's like, I don't believe you can have depression either. And I know you've heard Andrew Tate talk about that shit, and people lost their fucking minds. Like, I believe that you can be upset, you can be mad, you can be sad, you can be depressed, but to say that you have this clinical thing that this is just how you are for the rest of your life, and you'll never smile again, or you'll never have a feeling of fulfillment, or feeling like you actually want to do anything with your life ever again because a doctor said so, it's like, I don't fucking think so, bro. And that's the thing too, bro. As much as you might not believe it, I'll even say for myself, I am someone who used to be deathly afraid of being on stages or being looked at or anything. Always. If I ever had the choice to be on stage or sing a song or have people look at me or not, I'd always choose not. But I one day eventually forced myself to not be that person anymore. I forced myself to say, you know what? I don't want to be afraid of doing this shit forever. I want to be able to get on stage. I want to be able to perform. I want to feel like, even if I'm nervous, you get over it. It's the same thing, like, even Tweak talks about it when or not Tweak, but a lot of people, like, he's one of the people amongst other people, he talks about how do you get over tournament nerves, and he says you don't ever get over tournament nerves. You just learn how to deal with them. So you're trying to tell me that every single top Smash player has social anxiety? All of them? Because they get nervous playing in front of a crowd? Or are they just nervous because that's part of life? Getting nervous is part of life. Feeling anxious is part of life. How it gets triggered, maybe you don't have a control over that. Like, if you're someone who's afraid of deep water, or you're afraid of spiders, or you're afraid of heights, like, to say that you can have an irrational fear of it just based on nothing, like, that's possible to have. But to say that you can never overcome it because you've been diagnosed as, I don't know, arachnophobic or something, it's like, well, I'm afraid of spiders for the rest of my life, nothing I can do, I guess I'm screwed. It's like, that's just not true. If you actually believe that, then you're just giving power to something that doesn't deserve to have power over you. You worry too much about what people think? Welcome to the fucking club, bro. It doesn't mean you have fucking... you have problems because of that? Like, let's be honest, bro. Think about what you just said. You care about what people think. You care too much. Most people do, bro. The entire fitness industry is predicated on the idea that people want to be, like, positively judged. I want people to think I'm good enough looking, or my abs are this, or I look a certain way aesthetically. I want to be liked by girls, whatever. It's like, do they all have social anxiety because of that? Or they all of them they care a normal amount about what people think? It's like, no. Or are you trying to tell me that every single person in the world has a mental disorder? It's like, I don't believe that shit. Because if everyone is the exact same and everyone has a disorder, that means a disorder is just how people function in life. It's not a disorder anymore. It's just normal. The fitness industry is toxic, but here's the thing. I wouldn't even say these things are toxic. I think the Smash scene is incredibly sensitive. And I'll tell you this, because here's the thing. Everyone says, oh, this scene's toxic or this scene's toxic. It's like, no, this is just how people are. And for whatever reason, you've grown up to become so sensitive that you think that they should cater to your feelings more so than you being able to grow up and deal with what people say. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying anybody who thinks that. It's like, oh, I could never do this because people are going to say shit. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You could be fucking Mr. Beast curing blindness and be like, oh, he did this for malicious reasons. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do or what you say. People are going to say fuck you no matter what. So let me ask you this, bro. If I agree with everything that you say as far as being ultra anxious or any of these things, and here's the thing. I'm not diminishing it. I'm not diminishing it saying that it's not true for you, it's impossible to feel a certain way. But to say that you are trapped in that way, that's what I don't agree with. Because like even for myself, if I was to have that thought process saying, oh, I have social anxiety, because here's the thing. Fun fact about tricks from Meta Smash. I was homeschooled until I was 13. And when I went to school for the very first time, I had never ever had a real teacher outside of my mom. And I had never been in a classroom with 30 other kids I didn't know. And there was a point in time when I was in music class that actually, like in my 7th grade music class, I skipped 48 classes because I didn't want to fucking go. And I didn't want to have to be put on the spot and have to play music in front of my class and be complete dog shit at my instrument. I didn't want to do any of that shit. So are you telling me that someone that has the background of myself couldn't have convinced myself that I have social anxiety? Is that true? Is that really true to believe? I don't believe that for a single fucking second. Because if anybody has the free ticket to have social anxiety in that regard, it would have been myself. Homeschooled, my only classmates were my older brother and younger sister. Only teacher I ever had was just my mom. Then at 13 years old, you get thrown into regular school where you have all new students, never met any of them before. I'm not in class with my sister, not in class with my brother, and never seeing my mom. All those things are happening, and then I have like having to present in front of a class, which I've never done in the first 12 years of my life, whether it was music related or English class or history class or French class or whatever it was. French because of Canada, all those things. And then after that, like never talking to girls. Are you kidding me? That wasn't fucking real. Are you kidding me? None of that shit was real for me. So it could have been very easy for me to go down the path. And I'm going to say this, and you can take this however you want to. And this is part of the Smash scene being pathetic, in my opinion. I could have gone down the route of listening to fucking losers who say, you know what? You should get checked out. You should go talk to a doctor and see if you have social anxiety. Because I'm a bitch, and that's what I would do. That's what a lot of people, and I severely don't agree with that. Because I could have gone down that path of being like, yeah, you know what? As someone who's lived this life and grown up in a certain way, I'm going to take all of that out of consideration and just go talk to this doctor and just see, oh, based on my past, I can rationalize to myself, guaranteed that I would say, they'd say I have social anxiety, I have to be on medication, I have ADHD and all the other bullshit that people fall for. And then from there, that would have been my life forever. And I would have been constructing this storm cloud of depression over myself to say, doesn't matter what I do, what I say, or what I try, I'm always going to be this one person forever. I don't fucking believe that for a single second. So if you think to yourself that you have social anxiety or you have depression or whatever, try putting yourself into some positions or you can actually grow from it. If it means going and talking to somebody and that person goes and says fuck you and bites your head off, that's not because you had social anxiety that they act a certain way. If someone's a dickhead, they're a dickhead. But like I said, that's not the world, or that's not them being toxic. Like, that's just how some people are. If you stand up for yourself, I'll even say like in the Call of Duty community, or if you're just hanging out with the boys, if your best friends say, you're a stupid bitch, kill yourself, fuck you, you can go cry, or you can clap back and say, that's why your mom's a hoe. And they say, oh, okay, they're testing you. But the problem is a lot of the time now in society when people test you, people just fucking crumble. They say, fuck you, you're fat. They go, oh no. It's like, okay. That person, they say, okay, this person's a loser then. If I call you a fat loser and you crumble and start crying and become pathetic, do you really think that's going to make me want to be friends with you? Or anyone's going to want to be friends with you? When instead you could go out of your way to say, not that they have to like clap back in the situation, but even if they say these things, they might be right. The delivery might be atrocious, but there's a chance that they might be right. You might be a fat loser. You might want to work on some stuff. I'm not saying specifically because I don't know you. I'm just saying. So when you fall into these types of things, and then this just becomes your archetype of a human for the rest of time, or a persona as a human for the rest of time, it's like, you're trying to tell me that when someone called you a fat loser when you were 13, 15 years later, you're still a fat loser because of that? No, take some accountability, take some responsibility for yourself, and then actually grow the fuck up. That's my take. Smash Scene is the most sensitive place in the entire world, bro. You think what Zero has done or what Zero has said is even that bad? Like, bro, you say the word Andrew Tate and people lose their fucking minds. Like, that's how I know people are such fucking losers in this industry, in the Smash scene. It's like, I look at the comments in my own videos, people are like, oh, isn't Andrew Tate gone to jail for raping and sex trafficking? It's like, have you looked at any content ever in the history of the world? Or you just look at 15 seconds on TikTok of what somebody doctored together. This is funny that they actually use that term, doctoring information or doctoring content. Interesting that they say that. And Janari, I'm glad I've changed your view. Because here's the thing, bro. If you lose control of your mind, you've lost control of everything. This is how it is. If you give the keys to your life to other people, they will drive you into the ground. But I think ultimately, bro, with regards to yourself, it's the same thing for me. I still have a very dark and horrific story that I may share with you guys one day. And this is why I so heavily don't believe in all this shit. Because for me, if you are a weak-minded person, you fall for this shit. You fall for it. I'm pathetic, sad, and weak. I'm going to give into porn, alcohol, gambling, drugs, all kinds of other shit. And then that's my life because woe is me and I'm never going to get my life back on track. That's what I'm going to do. It's like, in what world in the history of ever has that been the answer to anything? That makes no fucking sense. Anyone who's turned their life around did not say, you know, the way that I became a six-figure income earner and did all these things to get my life in order is I became an alcoholic and a drug addict. That's what I did. I gambled until I was a millionaire and got a family and a wife and kids. That's what I did. Never, bro. You know what I did? I was depressed and had anxiety and ADHD and all these things. I just sat in my room until I became successful. That's not how it fucking works, bro. End of the day, like I've said this many times in the past, there's basically zero strong leaders in the Smash scene. And anytime someone tries to be a strong leader in the Smash scene blows themselves up. And it's fucking complete AIDS. Gennaro, I think the worst part about that particular addiction, because I can understand the drinking and the gambling and the other stuff, it's like the more so the wanting to feel good. Porn addiction is so ridiculously difficult for a lot of people is because they genuinely feel inadequate as a person, more so than wanting to feel good. It's like, if I just do this, I don't have to get a girlfriend or try to talk to people outside. Like, there's so much more to it than just drinking, where drinking is like, I just want to like relax. I just want to feel good. And this is just gonna, or maybe it's like a social thing, right? But for a lot of people, it's like, the reason why they jump into porn and stay with it forever and it can consume their life is genuinely because they think, I can't get a girlfriend ever. There's nothing I can do to become more of a desirable human being. So fuck it, bro. It's actually pretty crazy. And a lot of people, they just don't work on themselves. It's one of those things where it's like, if you're in like phenomenal shape and you have a lot of friends and you're very outgoing, then you're gonna feel like you don't need a lot of these things. And that's one of those things, like, oh, it's very hard. It's very hard to get a lot of the things that you want in life, bro. Like, being in a phenomenal shape, not easy. Being outgoing, not easy. Having a lot of close friends that you can trust and actually want to hang out with and have good times with and share your life with, not easy, bro. But guess what? Like, anything worth having is going to be hard. So a lot of the times people substitute for this shit when they could just work harder. Because here's the thing, anybody who is in phenomenal shape or has tons of friends or is outgoing, all of these things, a lot of people are very jealous of them. It's like, I wish I was outgoing. I wish I was in good shape. I wish I was charismatic and I could command a room or whatever. Even if it's not like I wish I had a lot of money, because that's one of those things too. And that's something that Andrew Tate actually talks about a lot. It's like, if you're a dork with a lot of money, you're not just a rich dork. You have to do all the other parts of it as well to be a fully well-rounded person. Not that you have to take my advice on this shit, but one of the things, whether or not people really consider it to be sacred or special anymore, you're way better off doing it for the very first time with your girlfriend. If it's not going to be your wife, at least girlfriend, versus just a random hookup, where it's like, yeah, it's kind of just happened with this person I don't care about, it's just whatever. It might sound like kind of sensitive to think that you have to do that, but I would still very much so recommend it. You don't want to be someone's 89th and they're your first, and they just kind of make you feel like shit. Because after that connection, it's going to change your life, bro. Because that's just what happens. It sounds very like sappy to say that, but it'll change your life because you're going to care about this person a shit ton. And if they just don't care, for them it's just like another number, then it's going to be very, very rough. And that's not what you want. My physique looks weird. It's like my arms are good, but my chest is underdeveloped. Then you gotta start working out, bro. Here's the thing, bro. I'll give you a little secret about social anxiety as well. The number one reason why people feel social anxiety about going to the gym is because they're either smaller than everyone or they think that they aren't in good shape. If you are bigger than everyone or amongst the bigger people, or you are in very good shape, you feel zero anxiety. The reason why people feel this anxiety more often than not is because they think that someone's going to try and fight them or hurt them or judge them, which for me is fucking crazy. Because anyone who's actually a serious gym goer, they know how much work it takes to actually go to the gym and actually try and get results. So if you see me at the gym and you're a heftier gentleman, I'm not going to be like, wow, look at this fat fuck. I'm going to be like, I'm actually so happy that you decided to just do this with your time instead of do nothing with your time. You might have been someone who's been sitting around for a very long time and you now decide to finally make the decision to say, you know what, enough is enough and I want to try and be better for myself or for my kids or for my family or for my own health or whatever it might be. So if you're that person who's trying to do better for yourself, then someone who's also done that for themselves too, they're not going to be like, wow, look at this loser. They want to see you there. So the idea of like getting judged makes no sense. No one's going to judge you. The gym bro that goes once a week on Fridays and just does arms and he drinks every weekend and he just goes to get a pump before going to the bar. That's the fucking loser that you're worried about. Any real man or woman of substance is not judging you for going to the gym. I promise you that. But yeah, if you're someone's like, I don't know, you feel anxious about going to the gym or you feel like it's intimidating, it's like, if you're the biggest person there or amongst the biggest people there, you have nothing to be afraid of. But here's the thing, it's a catch-22. I'm intimidated by the gym because I'm not big, but I'm not big because I'm intimidated by the gym. It's like, okay, well, if you just go, just like anything else in life, anything you want, it's on the other side of fear. On the other side of fear is success. That's just how it is. I'm scared of starting a YouTube channel because I don't want bad comments to happen to me. Listen up, kids. I get called Andrew Tate every single day, bro. Some people like it, some people say fuck you, and I just die. Some people say fuck you because of it, and they hate me because of it. It's like, okay, I chose my face, I chose my hair, I chose my mentality. If I was like any of you fucking kids that are watching a lazy bum who just plays Smash Ultimate, has nothing going on in their life, then the YouTube channel wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have been an S-tier Medify coach who out-earned basically every single person on the entire website. I wouldn't have got Any of the opportunities that I've had to work with Rushdown Revolt or doing stuff for Smash Ultimate, as far as the videos, the size of the channel, the growth of the channel, all those things wouldn't have existed if I was scared of comments or scared of being judged or whatever it is. So you have to get the fuck over yourself. This is what it is. And most people are too afraid to do that, and they're definitely scared of hearing that. People don't like to be told the truth. But the thing is, if you get told the truth or you actually abide by it, you're gonna have a better life. If you're a fat piece of shit and you're afraid of being told you're a fat piece of shit, so you just wear baggy clothes and you wear a t-shirt in the pool and you avoid going to the gym and you don't ever talk to your friends about fitness because they're going to talk to you and start trying to encourage you to go, and you don't want to admit to them that you're afraid of going or that you don't want to go because you're admitting that you're actually out of shape and that you have a lot of work to do. And you're going to be that sad sack of shit forever. Or you face it head on and you actually better yourself. Like, what's going to happen if you're out of shape at 20 and you do nothing but hide it? What's going to happen when you're 30 or when you're 40 or when you're 50? You're not going to magically just get in shape. And all that shit is compounded as well too. If you're a fat, out of shape loser who plays video games and doesn't have a job at 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old, whatever, in what world are you just going to get a wife and kids and have a life and all these things? Why would that just happen? You got to do work. Everything in life that's ever been worth having has taken work to get. Every single time.